didn't
We
kill
are
anybody.
now.
First guest. We got Rick Darge. Hey! What's your first impression on the studio?
Wait, do that again. I was on Jared the whole time.
First impression. Okay, first impression.
Went down on that.
Yeah, we went up. I remember I realized because for bumper to bumper, we did the walk and talks, and then
Yeah.
you farted into the handheld mic, and I
Yeah.
realized I use that handheld mic every episode.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Twins, that's Mary Kate. That's Mary Kate. That's Mary Kate. Look at these twins. That's Mary Kate. That's Mary Kate. That's Mary Kate. Look at these twins. That's Mary Kate. That's Mary Kate. That's Mary Kate. Look at these twins. That's Mary Kate. That's Mary Kate. That's Mary Kate. Titties out. Titties out.
First impression. It's okay. So it's far. It's like
Okay.
20 miles away.
Farther from like where you went last time though, my house.
Your house felt closer.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Where are you coming from? What city?
Mount Washington.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like Glendale, right? Basically.
It's like
Glendale,
Highland
Burbank-ish.
Park.
Okay.
Is this close to your house?
Well, Loki. Well, because you probably if you're coming from Glendale, you probably took the 210 then, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, then yeah. So
This
you're
is
probably
like
going-
another. I feel like I'm in
Yeah.
a different fucking city.
This is technically
like a-
closer to you, but I think it's easier to get to my house as I'm closer to freeways.
Okay.
Your freeways at least. Like,
It's far. Like
Yeah.
it's so first impression, very far. Got to listen to some radio and chill out, meditate in the car. But getting here, alleyway's a little sketchy.
Mhm.
Yep.
You're like,
Very
what is
sketchy.
this?
That's about
It
right.
feels like the alleyway in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that scene
Wait, is it a long shot?
where he's like, what are you talking about?
Oh, I was thinking about the long shot right
No,
before
there's
they
like
went to the
this moment towards the end where De Niro like might kill Karen,
Oh.
Ray Liotta's wife. He goes, go down the alleyway, and she gets scared. Anyway,
club. Sorry, Rick.
but getting in the studio, it's nice. I have
Yeah.
to say, it feels legit.
Yeah.
Like it's totally a different vibe than
Yeah, literally, yeah,
than
you wouldn't
your-
have
than
expected
your the house.
Yeah.
Feels professional.
Yeah, it feels professional.
Yeah.
The water is very warm. It's nice.
That's true.
It's
Yeah.
summer.
It's
At least we got water this
yeah.
time, though,
No,
right?
At least you have water.
Yeah, at least we got
Good.
water.
It was sitting in my car all day.
It was sitting. I don't know if that's healthy because I think the plastic it
I heard about
leaches
that.
Yeah, but
into
you're
the
drinking
water,
I,
right?
You're
I
drinking
cracked the
microplastics?
windows. I don't know if that helps.
I don't think that helps.
The babies
Sorry.
will still die,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. Because I think the plastic, I don't know what it does.
Yeah,
It
I think
does
it's the
something.
heat. It has to do with it's almost like a greenhouse effect.
Right, and then
Yeah.
it leaches
Is it
into the water.
BPA free?
I don't think it matters. I
Oh.
think this the plastic itself.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is the
I
cheapest water we got
apologize.
too. So
It's
right.
okay.
I love that
It's
kind of water.
it's one step at a time.
Yeah.
But I like it. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, it feels legit.
We could get a sign, right? What should we do? A sign right here, maybe?
You could do a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But
This-
Spain,
so
yeah?
this. Oh yeah, I was in Spain. Now
Yeah.
I'm back.
What were you doing in Spain?
I was directing a commercial.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't say who it's for,
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
one
How long
day.
is it until you could say?
I guess when it comes out, I
Oh.
don't know. It was It was fun. It was a 4-day shoot. It was for a food product,
Mhm.
and it was a new experience for me because 2 of the days were. You ever see these behind the scenes where they shoot food? It's like in slow motion,
Yeah.
and they use like the bolt camera,
Mhm.
and we did a lot of that. And there was like a guy making the food, out of he's using real food, but it's like you don't want to eat that food.
Yeah.
I remember the model. She was taking a bite of the food, and they had toothpicks in the food to keep it all perfect.
Yeah.
And they said beforehand, warn her about the toothpicks, because one time we didn't warn them, and the toothpick like went into someone's mouth.
Oh.
Blood was coming out.
Damn.
So yeah, it was a little scary. But it was weird.
Did you warn her?
I warned her.
Okay.
Yeah. I did. I
You
warned
should
her. She was a
clarify
pro.
Yeah.
She was a pro. Making a commercial is like dealing with someone that says, can you make it really big but also small at the same time? And I need it to be loud but quiet. That's
Oh.
what it's like.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and then you have to have a smile, and then you have to, get your
Yeah.
rage out.
Are you allowed to
Yeah.
say what the budget was?
I don't know, actually. They don't
Oh.
tell me.
Really? Whoa.
I think
Is that all
it-
the producers?
Yeah, that's all. I never get told. I think based on everything, there's probably like under $1 million, 800,000 or something.
So like, how does that work when it comes to like when you're directing and you want to do something, like you're asking like, all right, can we do this? Like,
Well,
they
everything's
just-
like prepped and
Okay.
like it's all planned out.
Okay.
So what you do is you spend a few weeks. I was there for a few weeks where you're working with a production designer. you're working with a stylist, you're getting the casting, and then they, like the production designer and the DP and the stylist, they will provide like a PDF with like the look, you know, what it's going to look like and the props that
Yeah.
you're going to use. And then typically what you do is like less than a week before the shoot, you do what's called a pre-production meeting, and you meet with the agency and the client, and it's like this big deal where you're presenting your vision, and then they get to ask all the questions of like, how you gonna do this? I really like that. I mean, I enjoy it. I remember the first one I did, my producers were like nervous for me, but I feel like I thrive in those environments of playing the politics. 'Cause a lot of the directing it's all politics. It's like, you get a performance, but it's mainly politics. It's mainly like making sure that whoever is spending the money feels safe with you making the thing. It's a lot of fear because a lot of all their jobs are on the line. I get to just come in and go out. So if it's bad, it's
like,
you know,
you just wipe your hands clean.
For them, someone can get fired. You know, there was a moment where we didn't use this particular food product, had a certain number of ingredients that makes up the thing, right? So we took one away, like one of the things away, to make the food product shot a little bit easier to tackle. And one of the clients was like screaming, "If there's not 3 on the thing, then I'm gonna get sacked." And I remember laughing and having to walk away because I thought it was so funny because it's so intense. So, but
That's crazy.
yeah, no, it's did you just turn me up? You did something there. I thought it was
You just fucking with him, Ryder?
the mushroom gummy kicking in.
You got one? Can I get one?
I didn't take it.
I still what?
I don't know what were you gonna say.
I remember you took that one on a pod, and then I just felt weird.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like high
Right.
or sober. I was just like, I don't know what this is.
I think because you've not done a full dose before.
Okay.
So I think when you take a full dose of mushrooms, it's like, you know, it's like, okay, if you've been to Phoenix from LA?
No.
Where's the furthest you've been in a car?
In a car. Nevada.
Okay, so you drove to Nevada.
Yeah.
So you know that drive. You know how long it takes and where to go. So that would be like the full dose, going to Nevada, coming back. So then when you take a small dose and you drive to Whittier, but you don't go all the way to Nevada, you kind of know.
Oh, how far Nevada is.
You kind of know the road already. So
okay.
when you've never gone to Nevada and you've just gone to Whittier.
Whittier seems crazy, right?
Whittier's a walk.
Stupid as
I was like, where's he taking us?
Oh, guys got a Whittier?
You ever start talking and then you just want to bail?
That's literally what this podcast is.
That is. We just bail for every conversation.
I just listen to what I say and I'm like, this is stupid.
Wait. But how old were you when you started taking shrooms?
I tried it for the first time. It was like in college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you get like a cool thing of clarity where like, yeah, I should break up with her?
It's so specific, bro.
Nothing
hear
like
stuff like that.
specific like that, but it did get me like out of my own way, you know? I think,
Like just for like that moment?
you know
Or
what?
was it
Actually,
long?
what it was, the thing, it wasn't mushrooms. It was ecstasy.
Oh.
I was like having a hard time. I moved to LA to go to film school, and I was having a hard time like connecting to people, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a filmmaker. I was surrounded by like a lot of douchebags because that's what I went to USC Film, and USC Film is like notorious for like nepo babies that are there, and they were just I remember thinking like, is this me? I don't want to do this if like this is the culture of what it is to be a filmmaker. And I hated LA. I was really depressed because of the smog and the pollution, obviously same thing, but like the traffic. And I was in a weird place emotionally where I had a hard time connecting. I was depressed. I was like really depressed. And it was
Wait,
like,
for how, like what year were you in?
it
college?
was probably my sophomore year of college.
Oh, okay.
That's when it like the
Dang.
whole year it was tough.
It was just a slow burn into like depression into the sophomore
It
year?
was like the whole year. I was like going
wow.
through some weird shit. I was like fucking, you know, you move away from your family, and then when you come back to your family, you know, for visits, I was like, this is where I'm from. My family was just to me at that moment, I was like, they were very dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Now growing up, like you realize like everyone goes through that, but
Yeah.
it was just like a weird moment, coming of age kind of a thing. And some towards the end of the semester, a friend of mine said, me and this girl are going to go to Disneyland. I knew the girl. We're going to go take ecstasy. Do you want to come? So then me and my buddy, my old roommate, were like, let's go. And we've never tried. That was the first time I tried anything hard.
And then you're at Disneyland.
So we're at Disneyland.
Whoa.
And we like spend the day at Disneyland, and we decided to take it towards the end of like as the sun goes down. So we take it, and all I had done at that point was like edibles, like weed and like smoked weed. So I didn't really know. I read up on it, but I didn't know like what to expect. And I kept thinking it was here. I kept thinking like, oh, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't feeling it. And then we went on It's a Small World.
Oh,
You know
wow.
that ride? The annoying
it's a
ride.
trip,
Yeah.
So we get on the ride and I'm sober, and we go through the ride, and as something happened with that ride with the fucking song,
Yeah.
there's a and I start looking like, oh shit, and I feel like my consciousness opening up. By the time we get out of the ride, I'm fully like rolling and
Wow.
I'm tripping,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember it was like one of the best drug experiences I've ever had in my life. And I remember being like, me and my buddy, we went on Space Mountain like 10 times. And I remember telling him, we were like waiting in line to get back on again for like the 5th time. And I remember going, waiting in line is as fun as the ride. Like, they're both equally fun. And I felt such a strong connection to strangers and to people, like being like, we're all one, and I get everyone has trauma, but I'm like, we're alive, and I was in the moment. And people always said, I remember researching ecstasy, saying like, you're gonna be depressed the next day,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And I was like on cloud 9 for like 10 days after.
That's
It's like
Whoa.
every day I felt better and better.
Yeah.
Damn.
And like it really changed my perception about myself. Like I healed a lot of things at Disneyland.
Like, what was it?
That's
Were you just like
fucking
not
beautiful.
sure of yourself, and that kind of jump started?
I felt very like just disconnected from like just people, you know.
Yeah.
I've always felt that way. I've always
Mhm.
felt very just not a part of the crowd.
Yeah.
And then coming out of that, I realized like I am part of the crowd. Like
Yeah.
Dang, ecstasy did that.
it did it. Yeah, it
Fucking-
changed my perception.
That's
Like
crazy.
in a super positive way.
Damn, because I kind of felt that. Like, I felt like for like, I think just like getting used to working full time and still trying to balance everything.
Yeah.
I just got into like a toxic habit of just like thinking that I was like, everyone hates me, and then I got
Yeah.
really drunk on Saturday, and I'm like, all right, I'm back.
Yeah.
Like,
How did you feel afterwards though? Like when you were like sober?
After the drunkenness, no, I was like,
Yeah.
that was good. I needed that. I
Yeah,
think I was
as
just
well.
on burnout, and then just
Yeah.
being drunk.
Being drunk helped you? Like
I think so.
Oh,
I
wow.
think yeah. So
I'll get drunk sometimes too, and I'm just like, bro, like why was I ever depressed?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I'm like, there's nothing's ever wrong, and
Yeah.
then you sober up immediately. You're like, everything's worse.
Yeah. I do that with pot, with psychedelics and pot. If a heavy dose of psychedelics, especially like LSD, which I haven't done in a while, but every time I do it, I'm just like, I gotta call my mom. I gotta call my mom and my dad and my grand. Like, I'm not calling my family enough. What am I doing? Like,
So real,
you're
yeah.
like, why am I not? Like, you know.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. If we were always that way, I don't know. Maybe you can be that way.
yeah. Why? How often
Like,
you
what
call
do
your
you mean,
mom?
I mean, we talk
Oh.
today, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, like, you know, the idea of like I always have to be present
Mm.
and I always have to be positive. That sounds exhausting. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
talking shit, and I like being a piece of shit sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
you judge someone and then they prove you wrong. And you're like, shouldn't have judged him.
Wait. Back to the USC thing though, because was it just like everyone was just pretentious? Was it like that? Because I heard NYU's like
Yeah.
that too.
It wasn't everyone, but there is this overwhelming sense. Well, USC is like a studio film school,
Mhm.
so it's training you to work with like Marvel and the studio system. You know, to like work in that system. It doesn't really celebrate independent ideas or artistic filmmaking. Like it's very much like by the numbers, and that's why it's still one of the best. So it brings a certain type of person is attracted to that school, like, you know, a blockbuster minded Steven
Oh.
Spielberg
Yeah.
worshiping, which I love Spielberg, but it's like that's the kind of like commercial filmmaking rather than what could film be. It doesn't need to be like this,
Yeah.
binary thing. It can be anything. But I think that being said, USC has a habit of taking, they're a private school, so they rely on donorship money from people.
Mhm.
They rely on donors. And so people in Hollywood that are big, if they want their kid or their cousin to get into USC, they just donate a high amount of money. They got into trouble with this a few years ago with the
Lori
whole
Loughlin's
scandal.
daughter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, which I thought was weird that she was getting in trouble because I'm like, this existed when I was in school.
Yeah.
It's just she got caught.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
they needed like a fall person.
Exactly, yeah. But there were people, one of the Walmart heiresses, Walmart right down the street,
Okay.
paid her roommate to take all of her tests, and they like named a school after her.
Whoa.
Or like they named like a building after
Yeah.
her, and they took it away once they found that out.
That's
so
crazy. That was at USC, or that was just like at
that
some
was
school?
USC,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I mean USC. We used to have Bryan Singer went to USC, and he was like on the masthead,
That's insane.
and they took his name off because
Wait, what?
he was raping all those young
Wait,
boys.
Bryan
Brian
Singer?
from X-Men?
Bryan Singer's a rapist.
Is that what he's
Since
known
when?
for?
You didn't know that?
No.
Wait. Who's Bryan Singer?
So Bryan Singer, he's a director.
Uh-huh.
He did The Usual Suspects and X-Men,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
dang.
he's a Predator. And he got canceled, but he somehow was able to. It didn't permeate the public, like the mind's eye.
I don't think I heard that.
Yeah.
at all.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, when I
Wow.
went to school, I would always hear there was a cinema floor in one of the buildings. I didn't room there, but he would come to that floor and like pick up young boys, film students, and then bring them back to his like, hey, come with me and come to my mansion, and then I'm gonna come on your face.
Did you go?
I never. I might have
How
went.
do you think I'm a director now, bro?
I might have gotten no. But I heard about those rumors way back, and then I heard about Kevin Spacey way back in
That's
the
crazy.
day also, and they were friends obviously, and I don't know. There's a rumor, but I heard that they used to get like a yacht and they would go into the ocean where like maritime law. I don't know what the rule is, but I guess.
Wait. Kevin Spacey would bring boys on a boat?
Spacey and
Singer.
fucking Singer, and they would leave the protection
Whoa.
to do.
insane.
I wonder how many bodies are
Yeah.
under that sea
I also wonder how they discover each other. Be like, did you just look at him too?
at parties.
For
Yeah,
real.
but, like,
yeah.
what's
how
that
do you bring, how do you
connection?
bring that
'Cause
up in
they're both-
conversation?
yeah.
Like,
At probably parties. I mean, look, without getting into it, yeah, this business is fucked up. There's
Yeah.
there's people that are willing. I don't believe in the whole thing of like selling your soul to the devil. I think it's an allegory for like compromising your morals in order to get that thing that you want.
Yeah.
People always talk about Weinstein and the women that he, raped and abused,
Mhm.
but nobody ever talks about the actors and actresses that
like, just
have
let
never
that-
spoke up,
yeah.
that are,
I heard about that.
selling
Like,
tickets.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who out there? You're telling me all the ones that didn't make it are the ones speaking out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're never gonna say anything.
Because I remember there was like a compilation of people thanking Weinstein in their like Oscar
yeah.
speeches.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa,
Mm.
they did it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and Weinstein's like the fall guy. Like, there's definitely that shit's going on today.
It has to be
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
it.
Do you think at least just like with the exposure of it all, like people have taken a step back from it, and I realize that like there's
No, they probably ramped up.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, y'all talking now?
Like, this shit has been going on since the birth of Hollywood, and it's
Yeah.
been going on before that. I mean,
It's just
it's
power.
sick. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
power. It's power and control. And I mean, more things will come out. And
Yeah. I
there's
remember you
always-
told me about an actor that he did something, and then those allegations came out.
an actor.
Yeah. You know.
Give me
I don't want to say.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it.
But I was like, no way. And you're like, yeah. And then a month later, I'm like, oh yeah, way.
And then it came out.
Yeah. And then it came out.
I want to know. But
Okay,
no,
wait,
don't
don't switch the
don't
camera.
say
Okay,
that,
keep
yeah.
the camera on Rick.
Okay.
I'm gonna mouth it.
Alright.
What?
Aldous is now
Wait,
drawing.
I'm
out
drawing.
letters.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing a flipped. Okay.
Oh no.
Your cursive's fucked up.
That's not cursive.
All right.
Okay. Wait.
Oh wait, I went to Jared. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Are
Wait, no, you don't even know.
I read your lips.
Your lip?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I know what you're talking about.
Do the lips again.
Wait, do it again.
Box.
No.
Two
They're
words.
letters. They're
Two
letters.
syllables.
They're letters. They're letters.
Wait, yeah.
Oh, okay.
2 words.
Yeah.
Beetle. Juice. Book. Storybook.
Wait, you gotta say the name on it.
Storybook Sky. One life to live. Beard.
I wish I could show. Wait, can I show?
Oh. He's reading a book. Me?
Jared? One book.
What book?
What book? The Bible.
Oh, Bible.
You're going a long way. You're going the longest possible.
Okay. We'll start over.
Oh, I know. You
It's
know.
okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Oh, I know you're talking about. It just came to me.
I got it.
Fuck that guy. I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Was I any good?
It was slowly coming. I
Okay.
finally understood all the pieces.
I
I'm
got it
pretty
when you
good
said
at-
Bible. I
Yeah.
was like,
I'm
okay.
pretty good at charades.
Did you cut that out or no?
No.
No. Okay, no. Okay. But yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he's done?
No. I don't think so. I mean, look at what's his name? Chris Brown. Like they're
yeah.
still making music videos with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He beat the shit out of Rihanna.
There's
Yeah.
been so many other things too about him. Like
Yeah, it's just like,
it's
and
been
then
crazy.
R. Kelly went for a really long time where nothing happened to him.
That's
yeah.
true.
And he
Well,
was-
I feel like I only had heard recently, at least when all that shit hit the fan, like with all the like where he was actually getting indicted and everything. Like, were you hearing
Yeah.
stuff? Like, was there stuff before that and everything?
Yeah, I mean those tapes came out like over 10 years
No,
ago.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
there's like a tape of him peeing on a 14-year-old girl.
You hear that one story about it was like Destiny's Child. I think it was Beyonce's mom. I think they were somewhere like at some party, and they were young, they were underage, and I think it was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and R. Kelly's like, "Yo, like let's come back to the studio and like let's make some music at 2 in the morning," and Beyonce's mom was like,
No.
"No,
Yeah.
like, like, what the
That's a good
fuck?"
mom.
Like,
That was
yeah,
the
for
weird thing
real.
about Weinstein, because you heard about 4 a.m. meetings in hotels,
Yeah,
and
that's insane.
I mean,
And how did you not know?
you
No, I'm
did.
not saying. I'm just.
I mean, look, if someone invited you to a hotel at
Yeah.
4 a.m., what are you're gonna
Yeah.
think sex,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Why?
Absolutely.
That doesn't make any sense. We're all we're all smart. We know
Mhm.
what's going on. But that's the thing. Like in Hollywood land, it's like people want that thing. Some people want it so bad,
Yeah.
and they'll just completely. But then you got to think, like, when you're older, I imagine that shit comes back to haunt you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you just are a complete sociopath and you have no feelings,
Yeah.
which I think
I'm
a
pretty sure
lot.
it's a lot.
I think a lot of
it,
people
like,
at the top are sociopaths.
I think they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely.
I mean, I think there was a reason they get there is like by stepping on a bunch of people too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they have no feelings. There's
Yeah.
no feelings of empathy. And,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's
We know
kind of.
someone. Yeah.
Who-
Yeah.
No, we know someone. We've had a talk, but we'll talk about it later. We'll give it later. We've done too much. I've said too much. Wait, is there anything you would do to climb up? Like,
Me?
like I'll touch it. Like what's
Yeah.
something where like
Ooh, that's like would you?
Right?
Don't answer
Yeah.
that,
So,
Rick.
so let's
no,
say
like what would you do?
You say don't answer that.
Your feature film, $200 million budget.
Yeah,
You get most creative control.
it's not worth it to me.
Really?
No, this is like
What if you just like
Fucking-
just finger my butt?
Just one
no,
time.
no, because I'm gonna remember that
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna
Forever.
Stay with you forever. Yeah.
I'm gonna know that my butt got fingered. to
No,
get
no,
this.
you're fingering their
you
butt.
do the finger.
Okay, yeah, fuck yeah.
Fucking guys.
Bring the budget in.
I wouldn't do anything that like crossed any kinds of like line. You know, like there's compromises.
Yeah.
So like when you're doing a commercial or anything, you know, I imagine when you're working on a studio film, you have to, you know, if the studio wants this particular person to be in your film,
Yeah.
otherwise the budget's not going to get made. Then it's like, okay, I have to cast Daniel Day-Lewis. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to work with him, but I got to cast. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just hypothetical. And that I know of directors that have made big studio films that have had to work with not their first choice in order to get the movie made, and then it was a
Dang.
horrible experience for them, but they got the movie filmed. So like in that, I understand that's part of the business. But when it comes to like, you know, you want to get this movie made, we want to see your allegiance, you got to come out in the backyard and you got to, you know, you got to put a bullet in the maid's head
Is
for
that
fun. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was
Where
like,
is she?
She's about to be dead. She's not getting that movie made.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
10% Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Now someone doesn't have a mom.
But going back to the fingering of the butt. Yeah, I think that it probably doesn't happen in the way of like, you have to finger my butt in order to get this $200 million movie made.
Yeah.
It's probably more like implied, like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on some dates, you know, get the wine flowing, and then I'm going to put the finger in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
And then
next
that'll
thing you know, your
hopefully
movie's
lead
greenlit.
to getting the call. I mean, the whole town is built on relationships.
Yeah.
So if you put your finger in enough butts, eventually someone's going to like it. They're
Yeah.
going to bring you in, and that's how you're going to get your movie made.
Yeah.
Hear
That's
that,
how it's
fellas?
going to get greenlit. You know.
Wait,
But-
since you've like known people from like USC, how often do you see someone nicest person ever, but as they climb to the top, they just become like a sociopath and like power hungry?
I
Does
don't
that happen,
think-
or do people stay who they were?
I think you're born with that thing that's wrong with you, you
Yeah.
know, and I think that
Well,
that's kind of who you are.
I think it's one of those things though, 'cause people are really good at concealing it though. So I feel like as they rise,
Yeah.
like it may kind of like they may stop concealing it and just kind of showing you like
Their
You know
true
what I mean?
colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see that? Or
Not really. I have not seen that. It feels, it's, you know, life is very long. So
yeah.
you see people get opportunities out the gate, and then it's like, where are they now? You
Yeah.
know, kind of a thing. It's very hard to sustain. And then people later in life will get it's just like, it's all different waves. But I don't think that you need to be that way I think the majority of people working in the film business are not like that.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think they're like us. Like, they have hearts, they have empathy. If they see someone that is hurting, they feel for them. You know, they want to do the right thing, of course. I think it's just a small group of people that are like sick.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that is with all industries,
Yeah.
you know, the medical industry and the politicians especially.
Yeah.
I think politicians you probably have a higher percentage of psychopaths
Yeah.
and sociopaths that are in politics, because that's just pure power.
Yeah.
I mean, politics are very similar to Hollywood, except like they're ugly, you know. They're not good looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. You know,
Have you seen any of like the upfront like you were working with somebody and you find out like they were doing like some such shit like
his butt's getting fingered.
no not well, yeah like or like they're the ones I guess yeah. I'm sorry, that was just confusing.
I can't think of anyone.
Going around.
I'm trying to like wrap my head around it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've seen some.
Mhm.
It's more just like sleazy behavior,
Yeah,
more than
yeah.
like anything that's like Weinstein level.
Yeah.
It's just more like, I've seen people use their power to get women or to
Yeah.
flex, but it's like, that's shit I saw in high school,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know, jocks using it.
Grow
It's like
up.
the same kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's it's interesting, the whole idea of like being a sociopath and that drawing you to the profession of, because like from an acting point of view, it's like you really have to feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But maybe a sociopath is like
Yeah.
a better actor. 'Cause
yeah.
then they can like, because they're pretending
All
the time.
Yeah.
and now they can, you know.
Like, really let it shine.
It's like Barry. If you've ever seen Barry.
Yeah, that was such a great show.
Was that
Yeah.
end good? What do you think?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Okay, I remember you told me after, you're like, I'm kind of disappointed.
I mean, I
But-
think like no matter, it's just impossible to land. Like, you're building up. There's so many expectations
Yeah,
that a show builds like within your mind. It's like Seinfeld or Sopranos or
yeah, that's true.
anything. It's never. But Breaking Bad had a great ending.
Yeah, it was a really good one.
Yeah.
Wait, so what are signs of when you see someone wants to collaborate with you? What's a red flag where you're like, oop, no? I'm not gonna work with you?
A
Whether that be like a paid job or just like for fun.
red flag if someone. Well, I think it's just preference. Like, so for me, I tend to shy away if people are too aggressive, like with ideas or like wanting to get things made. Like if it's too aggressive, I tend to just let something die or like back away. Because I feel like it should be fun, but it should never be like. Because usually, like, a sign of aggression from someone else is, oh, you need this more than I need this.
Yeah.
And, like, you have an agenda that, yeah, I think, yeah, red flags of collaboration. I don't know, I've collaborated a lot. I usually don't, I'm pretty gullible and naive in the sense that, like, I go into, I get excited and I want it to be. But I've had collaborative efforts in the past where it feels like you are carrying more of the weight, and then it becomes like, you know.
What do you say when that happens?
It just kind of eventually fizzles. It's not like something that's said.
Did any red flags come up when Aldous initially reached out to you?
No, there's
4
no,
DMs in a row.
There were no. It was a lot of DMs.
We made it.
There was no red flags. I think when all this reached out, my apprehension was that I no longer had like an office, because I used to have this office in Hollywood for like 6 years, and I was working from home, and I was in like a weird creative space when you came, like where I like didn't know what to do with them, and I was like,
Turn around.
So I fingered him.
Guess who got a job, baby? Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. No, but I wasn't. There was no red flag. I've never gotten a red flag from all this. It's never been like, oh, this guy is gonna fucking, I don't know.
Okay.
He's gonna finger me when I'm not looking.
Guys, we got the movie.
Yeah, but yeah, I never had anything like that. But you know, I always question like, where do red flags come from? Like when you feel like a red flag
Yeah.
from someone, like what is that?
Yeah, because sometimes like, is this a red flag or am I just anxious right
Yeah.
now? Like,
One thing I've been like learning to get better at is, in my past, people would hit me up to collaborate or be in their thing to act or something, and I would always go like, yeah, and I would always say yes, because I'd be flattered, and I'd be like, someone's thinking of me, and I've got like issues with being validated, and so like that fueled that part of me that was like, oh, I feel good, and then I would like regret it and be like, this script sucks, or like I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And so now I have gotten really good at like not saying yes. I like to, my instinct is always to say yes, but then I wait and then I think about it, and then, you know, if I'm not feeling it, but I always wonder, like, am I not feeling it because I'm lazy or because I'm not feeling it?
Yeah.
I think that too, because I'm like, should I just push myself and do something even when I don't want to do it, so I get those reps in, or do I just honestly hate it right now? Because I think about that for stand up, where I'm like, I don't even want to do it that bad, and then I'm there, I'm like, fuck this, and like get off stage, I'm like, God, that was so fun.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like the before feeling always feels the same.
Yeah.
Whether like if I want to do it or if like I actually just
There's
don't wanna
always
do
going to be resistance.
it. Yeah.
There was a actress that we cast for this commercial, and she was an older woman, and I didn't have enough older people in the ad, and so she was like the only older woman that we were going to see. So like she didn't know this, but she got the role without even auditioning. And her audition was like so bad. She didn't take direction.
Oh,
And I was like, oh my God, she got it, but it's going to be, and I was like, I'm just going to put her in the corner and give her something that she doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And I was like warning the client and agency about it, like, she's not the best, just heads up. And then some stuff happened with casting due to internal politics where we had to suddenly make her like the hero of the spot.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to do this thing where she's screaming and she does this physical gag, and she fucking killed it.
Oh.
And like everyone laughed. And like I remember walking away going, I don't have any idea what's going on. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because things that I don't think are good suddenly become great. And then things that I think are great suck. And so I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I sometimes I can't trust they're like, trust your gut. And I'm like,
your gut's
I trusted
wrong.
it and they called me racist.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, what do you, I don't even know. Yeah. I mean, the only solace I have is like, you know, we're all going to be dead one day and we'll forget all this. So you'll make mistakes and you won't, and who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Just don't put your finger in someone's butt if they don't want it.
That's so real.
If they do want it, then maybe if you get a $200 million Marvel film.
Maybe.
How much would it be for you to finger someone for a movie?
What do you mean, how much?
Just like, I'll be like, hey, finger my butt. I'll give you X amount of money minimum.
For the budget?
Yeah.
I thought we already established this.
It was $2 million minimum. So
$2 million.
I said 200,
what was it?
200.
How long do I have to finger the butt for?
Until I come.
Oh my god.
Like at least like a minute or two.
Can I wear gloves?
No,
No, but at least like they just douched, so you're good.
it wasn't a clean one though.
It wasn't an all the way douche.
How much
Man.
minimum?
Shit.
And like you feel it in your forearms.
As long as I get like
Put a fucking
my
pump.
healthcare days,
Okay.
whatever the minimum, like
What's healthcare day minimum for DGA?
it's like 4 days of work, so
Oh, in a
Yeah.
quarter or a year?
in a year.
Oh, cool.
So you get 4 days of work, and you get healthcare for the year.
If it's a commercial that is made or a piece of content that's made in America.
Oh,
So
okay.
like when I went to Spain,
It
that
can count.
that doesn't count.
Ah, dang.
Yeah.
Do you get their healthcare?
I don't get shit. Yeah.
Oh.
So
You gotta fly over there.
they're different too. The crew, like the crews work extremely hard. Like LA crews are a bit meh. That's I don't know if I can do that voice.
Do it. We'll
Meh. That's
I don't like this.
I don't do that. What is this? Lukewarm water? Fucking but in Spain they don't give a shit. They work really hard. And you know, in America, if you're on a union job or any job really, and you get close to, you know, the lunch break, you have to call lunch. They can call grace, which is like, we're gonna call grace, which they give you like 5 to 10 minutes where you're not penalized. But the rules are every minute that you go over without eating lunch, that's costing production a shit ton of like overtime money.
Yeah.
And so, but in Spain, we had a really rough day, and I was like, we're getting close to lunch though. They're like, this is Spain. No one gives a shit. So we like went.
They're not even getting paid.
Yeah, it was like, it was nice. And like we went over. Yeah, I don't know how much money it would cost
Oh.
to, you know.
How much you guys got?
What if they
do
give
that.
you like
$3.
a blank check? Like you write whatever amount. What would that be? Here's a check. Just write
$10,000. You just finger a butt.
I mean, if it's any amount, I'm gonna put like 100 mil.
But minimum.
Minimum
You'd take
Yeah.
for a budget or for my rate
for the budget.
And the age of the butthole.
and the what?
Age of the butthole.
What do you mean the age
Like
of
you
the
gotta
budget?
choose
How
how
old
old
the
the person is. At your...
There's a lot of choice I had.
That's
We are a multiple choice type of podcast. Or a choose your own adventure type of podcast.
I think like I could make something really fun for 10 million.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
But,
But for a male, if they're like, just put your finger.
that's the thing. It's consensual because
Yeah.
they.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're asking.
I have to make sure Hillary was okay with it. You know.
Oh, that's
Okay.
real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
we'll do
that's
2
real.
takes.
That's
If
good.
Hillary says no, do a different number. This isn't out yet.
You guys really want me to be on camera
Yeah.
saying I
We're
would
dropping pants after this.
fucking finger a butt?
Gay.
It's tough, man. To make stuff. You know, whatever you got to do.
Mhm.
That's true. If in Spain, because I know it's like this in the Philippines, if you're a white man, you're instantly like, whoa, you're famous. Like, wow. Heads turn. Is it like that in Spain?
Nah,
Oh.
not really. I mean, I did. Barcelona is interesting because it's very multicultural. It feels like LA.
Oh,
It's a very European city. It's Catalan, so they have a whole different language. you know.
Oh, what? They don't speak Spanish?
It's different. It's
Oh.
like, you know, when they say Barcelona, they say Barcelona. And
They just
Ibiza.
speak a little.
they said the
You
lift,
got a list?
and
That's
it's
crazy.
it's a different culture. It's
Oh.
not they were fighting for their independence years ago. You know, they wanted to become independent of Spain. So they're different
crazy.
people. And I thought they were very nice. Like I would roam the streets late at night. I would bike ride. I never felt afraid.
Oh, that's cool.
Like that. I don't have this. There's a fear in LA.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're like,
dangerous here.
am I going to get
Yeah.
someone going to throw shit at me or something? Or
Yeah.
what's going to happen? I didn't get that over there. There are muggings. I have a fun story about being over there. There was a moment that it did get a little sketchy in Barcelona. My point I was going to make was in Madrid, they're Spanish. So they're Bastilian Spaniards. I don't know if I can go on record. There's a bit of I don't know if they like the Catalan people. I think there is a bit of a cultural clash between the both of them.
Oh, wow.
Because I remember saying, like, I love the people in Barcelona, and then they're like, what? They're so mean. I'm like, well, they're not mean to me. People were very nice to me. I was in Barcelona, and there's like it's like their Central Park, right? And it's pretty. It's like this giant park with like lakes and architecture, and everyone goes in there and they play music, and it's packed with people and life. So I decided to go on a long walk, and it was around 11 p.m. And I walk into the park, and I'm talking to my dad, and I find like an area, like a dark area of the park, and I'm like pacing around. I walked in, it was packed. So we have a long talk, and it's 12:30, and I hang up, and I decide to leave. I had to go back to my hotel. And I walk through the park, and there's no one in the park. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Everyone left. And then I got to the gate, because it's all enclosed,
Yeah.
you know, with these giant gates, and the gate was locked. And I was like, oh, okay, they locked the gate. There must be like an emergency exit for people like me. So I see this guy in the distance. He's like 100 feet away. I'm like, oh, he's probably like me. I better go talk to him.
Oh.
And I walk up to him, and I get closer, and I was like, hey, do you know, are you lost? How do I get out of here? And he goes, you have to jump over the fence. There's like a 15-foot high fence. And I went, what? They locked it up. And then he goes back to his tent in the park, because he's a homeless guy.
Oh.
And he was living there. And so I went, oh, fuck, he's not. He wants to be here. Like, it's a safe space. So I got a little worried, and I walk, you know, away from him. And then I see these two guys walking near me. And I was like, I should maybe ask them how to get out of here. But then I had this feeling like I shouldn't ask them, because if I tell them that I'm stuck in here, I'm fresh meat.
Yeah.
And they're going to fuck me. So I didn't say anything to them, and I walked through the park, and then two dudes like started whistling it, like catcalling me. And then I started getting worried, because I'm like, where the fuck is the exit?
Yeah.
All the gates were locked up. And I knew if I jumped the fence, I'd break my fucking arm. And I was scared. And I remember like a couple days prior to this, I was like looking at my gut in the mirror of the hotel, and I'm like, I'm getting fucking fat, because I was eating like tapas nonstop.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, my gut is huge. And I had that thought like running in my head. So I'm walking I go to the end of the park hoping to find an official. There's no, they just locked the fucking
Wow,
park
that's
up.
crazy.
They don't give a shit. And it's like Mad Max.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's no law in
literally,
here.
yeah.
And so I remember
Nobody's
thinking
gonna do
Barcelona
shit.
was so safe, but in that moment I got scared. I see a guy, it looks like a security guard. It's not. It's a sanitation guy, and he's just outside of the fence, and he's with his buddy. And this sanitation guy had the biggest fucking gut I've ever seen. This will make sense in a second. And I'm like, what? How do I get out of here? And he spoke no English, and they start making fun of me. And they're like looking at their watch, and I understood that they said 7 a.m. That's when they opened the gates. And I was like, shit. And I remember just thinking, I don't want to call my producer. I don't want to alarm them like the stupid director got locked in the park. So he tells me, he remembers, and he goes, he's like motioning me to go to the end of the fence. And I follow him, and there's like a gap, like an 8-inch gap. And he's telling me like through body language to go through. And I went, you? And he's like, no. And he like grabs his belly and he shakes it. Because he's like, there's no way that he could get through it, but he's like, maybe you could. And I remember thinking, I didn't believe in myself at that moment. I was thinking I was too fat. I couldn't get in. But I was like, fuck it. I'm going to try. And I got through, like I was able to wedge my way through, and then he starts cheering, and his buddy's cheering, and I'm cheering, and I remember thinking, I'm not that fat.
It's a full circle moment from last pod.
That's true.
We were asking each other like how fat, like what's like the fattest we've ever been.
Oh yeah.
I was like, how we just closed out the last pod. That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, they're talking about the last episode, Rick, where he
yeah.
like fell.
Yeah.
What was it?
What
No,
do you
no, you were drunk. You tried to steal PS4.
Oh, the PS4
Oh, my
controller.
God.
Yeah. I got my rib broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the time span of that whole lap around the park? That's crazy. They don't really do an announcement.
I was stuck in there for an hour.
Wow.
And I remember I had to be up early the next day, and I remember thinking, I'll sleep near the front gate where there's light, just in case like anyone tries to come up on me.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'll do, but
Yeah.
and I'll just get up in the morning and then go back to and I wasn't gonna tell anyone. I was just gonna wear the shame.
Just night in the park.
I told the producer afterwards. She's like, "You should have texted me." But I'm like, "What would you
Yeah,
have
what did you
done?
do?
Like, I don't want to make you panic. Like, you
Yeah.
know." So.
Yeah, that happened to me once, but it was not 15 feet high.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I just had to, like, it was at some park. I just had to jump over the fence.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because like they don't say shit. Like you're
Yeah.
just
No,
stuck.
they
You're
just-
Close it.
stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the weird thing. They just
Mhm.
lock you up.
Yeah.
And then you realize this park is alive. There are a
Yeah.
lot of people that are living here.
That's crazy. That's fucking
and
scary.
you know, and I got a little scared because I
Yeah.
was like, anything could happen.
Yeah.
But nothing did. You know.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. Well, so how long were you in? How long were you over there for?
I was there for almost a month.
And then so how does it work when with your rate and everything for pre-production?
Well, the way commercial directing works is it's all based on your shoot days.
Okay.
So if it's one shoot day, that's it. You get a day rate based on the one shoot day,
Yeah.
which means you're going to be in prep less. It means
Okay.
that you'll probably be there for a week,
Yeah.
you know, and then a week of post. So really your day rate is, so the more days the shoot is, the more prep you have. But I did a 3-day shoot in Toronto, and it was only 10 days in Toronto. This was long.
Yeah.
So what I learned about working in the European markets is the directors are way more involved, especially in post-production. In America, traditionally, when you finish a commercial, if you're lucky, you get 1 day with the editor to do your cut, and then they come in and take over, and that's it. And then you don't hear about it until it's finished.
Yeah.
But in Europe, you're expected to. They put me on a train after the shoot to Madrid for 5 days to work on the edit. We worked on the edit for 3 days in a row with an editor, and then next week I'm gonna have a week of waking up at 6 a.m. to work with them remotely on their cut.
Yeah.
You know, so it's rough because you don't get paid for that.
Damn.
You don't get paid for the edit, and you don't get paid for the prep. So if you really break down all the hours that you do, it's, you know,
Yeah, so but
I'm a sandwich artist.
Is it your rate though? Like, do you tell them like this is my rate as a director, or like
No,
do they make it for you?
They tell you.
Okay.
So Europe is less than America.
Yeah.
The rates, all the budgets are less. Someone told me they're like, for European markets, take what you would get in America for a total budget and remove a zero. So you're
Damn.
always working.
Whoa.
You're always working with less money in Europe. But that being said, the creative is really good.
Yeah.
So like they take a bit more risks, at least for me. Like when it comes to comedy, they're a little riskier in terms of like the concept. And so I like that. I mean, I know there's a lot of great American agencies that take risks, but I haven't worked with them yet, you know. So but yeah, it's lower budget. You get a lower rate, and but that's why you try to get days. You want to try to ideally get a job that, you know, is more than a day. You know, a lot of comedy ends up being like one shoot day, which is tough because the 1 day jobs are probably the worst because you're doing so much work to prep for 1 day and you're just getting paid for that 1 day.
Yeah.
So really it's like, as a director, you don't really have a say. It's like, do you want the job or not?
Yeah.
But like when you see, like if you're on Instagram and you see a commercial director and they're posting on Instagram stories and they're trying to make you feel bad and they're writing like day 1 of 10, they just made their whole fucking year.
Yeah.
Like with a 10-day shoot.
Yeah.
Which no one should be doing right now. They shouldn't be writing day 1 of 10 with the strike going on.
Wait, what do you mean? Right, they get their year.
I'm saying you're gonna make. on a 10-day job, you're not going to have to work for the rest of the year if you don't want to.
Oh wow.
You're getting paid that much money.
How like are you able to like talk about like rates and stuff? Like
yeah.
You don't want to.
yeah, you don't
I think like at the minimum, like commercial directors like
Mhm.
starting out like 10K a day is kind of
that's crazy.
like the
That's
minimum.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I know directors that are seasoned. They're probably making like 35K a day,
That's
40K
crazy.
a day.
Yeah.
Dang.
So you do like a 10-day
10-day
job
shoot,
and you
350K,
400,000.
Whoa.
But it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds attractive, right? It's like,
Yeah.
wow, that's a lot. First of all, you're paying the government a third of that, you know,
Yeah.
if you are a tax-paying
Yeah.
citizen.
What if you're not in California? Is it tax leave?
Well, federal government.
Oh,
So,
federal.
yeah.
Okay.
I always think about that. Like, if I do a 3-day job, I'm like, one of these days is
Doesn't
for
count. Yeah.
Ukraine. But yeah, I mean, it when I first started doing commercials, like legit commercials 3 years ago, you know, you find out like the day rate and you're like, whoa, because they're so used to like hustling and eating
Yeah.
shit. And then, yeah, it's like, it's attractive
Yeah.
and it's definitely worth it. But then when you get into it
Yeah.
and the amount of work, you know, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
lot of work.
I've seen all the pitches you do, and then they don't even give you.
Yeah. So another thing with the culture is like, and I think this needs to be changed, but directors don't get paid to write treatments. So
That's crazy.
the way that it works is typically it's a triple bid process.
Yeah.
So you have 3 different production companies presenting 3 different directors. So like the company that I'm with, they'll never put up 2 directors on the same job.
Yeah.
They can't. So, you know, if the job comes in and I'm being called, I'm the only one at that company going forward. And then I'm pitching against typically 2 other directors, no more than 2 other. Usually it might be a double bid. So me and one other person. So you have to ideate. You have to take their idea and make it better. That requires a lot of time because you have to use your imagination. You have to think, and then you have to write. Then you have to write a treatment, and treatments are typically 8 to 10 pages in a Google Doc. And then you have to work with a designer to imagery, and you're building a deck, like generally a 35 to 50 page PDF document that is essentially a visual contract. It's telling the agency and the client, this is how I will execute your idea. So on one hand, it's really great because once you get the job,
It's ready to go.
they can't say some shit like change all this. They
Yeah.
will change stuff, but for the most part, they know your vision
Yeah.
because that's what they bought you on. And they had to sell you to their client and internally, so it's already done. So it's a contract. The shitty thing about it is if you don't get the job, you don't get anything.
Yeah.
So if you do get the job, you book the job. You make your days. If you don't get it, you don't get shit. You
Yeah.
just get another mark on your fucking armor that says you know,
Pitched, yeah.
you spent 2 weeks and you didn't get paid for it.
Yeah, that's
Now, what's
insane.
crappy about it, and it's no fault of any particular company, it's just the culture, and I do think it should change, is the treatment designers, the ones pulling the imagery and doing the layout, they all get paid. If I choose to hire a writer, the writer gets paid.
This is all through the company that you're pitching to? Is
The
like paying you?
company will pay
Yeah.
because they're investing in you. Because if you win the job, they stand to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, the agency, they will usually get a stipend from the client, but it never trickles back down to the director.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So, yeah, we do a lot of free work and we do a lot of, and it hurts, man. Like,
Yeah.
you spend 2 weeks on a job. I pitched on a fucking job and it would have been a 7-day shoot right after this one. And I was the reco. So what that means is like you're an escrow, you know, like they want you. And the company decided at the last minute that they didn't want to spend the marketing dollars because of the recession. And it's just like, you engaged with me and with us to do this. We've already paid people. You just wasted our time.
Yeah.
And it's not the agency's fault. It's the client. The client, they don't know what they want or they fuck up. But yeah, I think in the future, I would like to advocate for directors getting paid. Even $1,000 is
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
you know, and it should come out of the budget from the agency. The agency should to engage with the company.
Yeah.
The problem is there are so many people that want this, you know, so many people that want to do this job. And especially now in a recession where money is tight, like people are willing to put in the free work and be okay with not getting anything if it doesn't work out. But I got to say, when it does work out and you do get the call that they want you, it's the greatest dopamine rush you've ever gotten. It's like drugs. It's so good because then it's like, okay, cool, we're going to do this. But there is a sense of like, fuck, because you know how much work it's about to be. Literally the next day, it's like you're on calls and that's it. You're off to the races.
So like 16-hour days, would you say?
It's not so much that, it's just there's a lot of
like you have to be on.
You just like you're on. But I have to say, what I did really enjoy about being in Barcelona for the job. Barcelona is such a inspiring city. Have you guys been?
I haven't been.
Never, no.
Been to Spain?
No,
Oh,
I've
it's
never been to
the
Europe.
best. Really?
Never, no.
You'll go one day. It's great. Backpack. It's awesome.
Say less.
Cool.
But being in Barcelona has such like a rich history, and the architecture is just so inspiring, and the people are like full of life. And so when I'm there, I'm like 2 weeks of prep.
Mm-hmm.
So like in my free time, when I get it at the end of the day, I'm like roaming around, I'm looking at stuff.
That's sick.
And then I noticed like things that I was seeing were like inspiring ideas. So I'd like take a photo of something and I'd send it to my production designer and be like, let's put like a security camera that looks like this outside the window. And then we had a character doing a sketch in their like notepad, and I went to a Picasso museum and I saw his early work and I was like, I like the lines, and I took a photo of that and I went, I want the thing to look like this. Yes. So like you're working, but like it's fun work. It's not
so
like
cool.
The actual work. My least favorite thing in commercials and in filmmaking is auditions and callbacks. I hate it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is like really emotionally draining.
Why? Like, cause like the judgment of people and like having to like let people down and everything.
It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of callbacks are the worst because like auditions, they sent me 500 people to look at.
Oh my god!
So I'm like going through, and when I first started doing commercial directing, I was like, I got to give every actor their time because I know what it's like to be an actor, and you do yourself up and you do your audition. But then when you get through 80 of them and you've got only so many hours of the day, you just start going, nope, nope, nope. And you're like, no, you're the wrong face, or your voice is off, or like, and you start becoming a judgmental piece of shit. But you know, it helps you to know what you do want, because you're like, that's not what I want. But the callbacks are really emotionally taxing. Yeah, because it's like callbacks, actors that are showing up for a callback, they think that they're close, which they are, to getting the role. And it's your opportunity a callback to me is like, that is the opportunity to make sure that they can do exactly what they just did in the audition, but can they take direction? Mm-hmm. And so what I like to do in a callback is give them direction that I won't necessarily use on the shoot, but I just want to see if they listen to me and like if they do what I say. Yeah. Because when you're doing a commercial or any kind of studio film, I haven't done a studio film yet, but I imagine it's the same level of like, there's no time to fuck around. There's no time to waste. So they have to perform immediately. Like you have to be a pro and do exactly what you're told. And if you have a very small direction, you have to be able to deliver that. Because it's amazing to me how many actors in callbacks, like you give them direction and they do the same exact thing and they don't take the direction. And then I just go, oh, you're done. You know, unless they're an older woman and I need them, and I'm like, you've got the part regardless. But I think it's just emotionally taxing because callbacks are typically, they're all day. There's no break usually. And if you do have lunch, it's 20 minutes. And they come into the room and they're full of life, and you have to you want to match. You don't want to be a piece of shit. You want them to do their best. So you have to have that energy every time and like, thank you so much. And then I used to do all the talking, but now I let the casting director do everything, and then I'll step in after they set them up. I'll be like, can you try this or do this again and whatever. But Yeah.
Do you get paid for that or no?
No, so you only get paid for your days. So if there's a shoot for great value purified drinking water and they're telling me in the budget they only have 3 shooting days. We're going to shoot 3 days. So my day rate, I get a day rate. It's a locked in day rate. And so I know that I'm going to get that day rate times 3. But all the prep, all the work that you do, it's all included. That's why with a director, the day rates are high. Like when you start out, it's like 10 grand a day. It's high because it's factoring in all the hours. I don't know who the fuck figured out this fucking math, or like it does make sense when you go into it. You're like, okay, yeah, because like a 4-day shoot is gonna have a lot more prep, a lot more stuff to go over, planning. A 1-day shoot is gonna be quick, you know. Yeah. Some people get lucky and, you know, there's like a shoot where there's no prep. It's just like a money job. And I know there are I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for like just a money job where you don't share it and it's just like you go in and just get it done.
Sick. How often do you walk away from a job and you're like, I got ripped off working that?
I haven't felt that.
That's cool.
No, yeah. I'm really am super grateful to be able to do this after, you know, struggling getting in, you know, to be able to do it for years. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that about, you know, other things, not production company or the job, more like inflation and the fact that my olive oil used to be $6 and now it's $7.50.
Yeah.
You know?
Scam.
Why is it $7.50?
Guess how much that water was?
Fucking a lot, I bet.
Yeah, some bullshit.
I think it's $4, not bad.
I don't know. I didn't buy
$4 for a couple.
Yeah. The price went down when it sat in my car.
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
Good going. Wait, so would you say you kind of made, like, do you feel like you made it right now? Or what is, because you still have that drive, but is it like a, hell yeah, I'm in a good place?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you always want to be doing more and you want to be working more, but yeah, no, I feel very extremely grateful to be with the people I'm with right now and got the opportunity. I mean, for me, it was the pandemic that kind of changed my life.
That's cool. That's cool. Because we met you right before that.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Wild. You were doing it and I met you.
I know. It's
insane.
What do you mean by the pandemic, like changing your life? Like it just gave you more opportunity?
But you popped off during the pandemic.
There was like, I'd always been making my own stuff. Like always would go back and make my own sketches with my buddy John or by myself.
4 episodes ago, check it.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He came on.
He's so funny, dude.
Yeah. John's hilarious.
He's the man.
But like, I'd always been making my own shit, but I was always hustling. I like DIY, you know, made an indie film that I shot in 2013. We put it out in 2018. Took forever. I, you know, got close to having shows at Adult Swim and then things would fizzle. And so I was not like quite in it yet. And I met with production companies in 2019 for commercials and they were like, come back to us when you're not you. You know what I mean? Like they don't give you any advice. They just don't want to work with you because they think there's something wrong with you because no one else. It's all about being vouched for and vetted.
Dang.
And so yeah, it was a struggle. And then during the pandemic, I come from a DP background, so I own a lot of camera gear and lenses, and I know how to DIY. I know how to do it myself. Yeah. And so like any job prospects that I had were immediately vaporized. Hillary, my girlfriend, is a writer, and so her job went remote. So she was working more than she's ever worked. So I felt like a piece of shit because I'm like, I got nothing like going on. And I made like one sketch about, it was like how to properly wash your hands. And it was right when the pandemic kicked off. And it was like, I'm teaching you how. It's like very informative. And I'm talking to the camera and I'm like, lather up, you know, wash the hands, 30 seconds, count, say the happy birthday song when you're washing your hands. And then the final step is to put your hands in the garbage disposal so you don't have any hands. And I posted it and it like did really fucking well, like better than any video I've ever made. Mm-hmm. And then I made another thing and it did really well. And people started messaging me being like, oh my God, thank you so much. I needed this. It's so hard out there. And random strangers were like thanking me. And so that, I remember I had this light bulb moment. I was like, that's right. Like nobody in LA is collaborating right now because no one we're all locked in. Like no one is breaking the rules.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure people were, but no one was like doing it and putting content out.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know how to do everything. I know how to write and shoot and act and direct. So I'm gonna take the spotlight right now. I knew that there was like I had attention on me because I made stuff alone before, but no one really gave a shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was like, whoa, he's doing stuff. There's no one helping him. It's just him. So that shifted it got me back in touch with like the reasons why I am a filmmaker and why I love it so much.
Yeah.
Because I used to always rush my own stuff. Like I'd like try to get it done as quickly as possible. And I had the whole day to myself. Nothing was going on.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to like really try to find the best shot. I'm going to, you know, just really slow it down and have fun with this. And then, there was like a huge like shift that happened. And I got signed to a commercial company because I pitched a show to 3 networks during that time. Like, during like the height of the pandemic, it was weird. Like all this, like this big shift, all the things that I wanted were suddenly there.
Yeah.
And it was just because it was because of the pandemic, but it was also because I shifted my mindset into, I really wasn't expecting anything when I was making the work. I was just doing it because like it made me feel joy for myself.
That's cool.
And then I happened to be able to connect with people. That was nice too, but it got me. So yeah, if I ever get like down or I wonder why I'm doing this, I do remember that. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's that simple.
That's
just fucking like the reasons why you do what you do, you know, like you do stand up for you.
Yeah.
Like you're working some shit out.
Yeah.
You know, of course you want
to let the racist thoughts out.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got some racist problems and you need to but I mean like that's why we all make work and we make art. I mean, that's why you guys do the podcast. It's like of course you want it to be heard and we want that. But do we is that a thing that's been planted in our mind because of this fucking capitalistic country we live in of like we need to have the mansion and the house
I think social media social media made it like we
it's
gotta
fucked
be
up.
the goat.
Yeah, you gotta keep better and better and better and better. It's like why can't you just what's wrong with right now? Why can't
That's so real.
what's wrong with
We're not
right
making
now?
money right now, Rick.
No, we made about like $22. We got our Manscaped sponsorship. We got our sponsorship.
Fuck
Hey, we got I think next episode we'll have it by then.
Hell yeah, you got the pube trimmer.
We got the pube trimmer. Yeah, you still use yours?
I can't wait.
Yeah, I use the one for my nose.
Is it good? Like, is it solid?
The nose one's not bad. Yeah.
What about the pubes one?
The pubes one.
I don't want to talk shit. We just got. Wait, do you think they're gonna watch this one?
I use the
They're
pubes
gonna watch
one.
all of them. Why not?
I don't like cutting the pubes too short because then it like.
Yeah.
Now I'm
you
a
get
little
irritated.
boy.
Yeah.
Well, not that.
Have you ever used it like? Have you ever used it on your ass?
I don't even know how to even do that. Have you?
Well, I think I need to get there. I don't know if I've talked about it on here, but I'm like, I've gotten. Are we cool enough for this?
Yeah. Did you get a feeling that I wasn't going to be cool?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, no,
I was almost
Consent.
feeling like feeling judgment over here.
No,
like,
there's
we're
no
just
judgment.
talking about this. Like,
Do you have a hairy ass?
I have very hairy ass,
Yeah, nice.
and it's almost getting impossible to wipe now. It's
Whoa.
like your beard.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
It's that hairy?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, I'll
Poor Alyssa.
yeah, I'll show you out.
You
show
got to
you
get.
after.
Do you have a bidet?
No, but I've been hearing about that.
I got a girlfriend.
But the thing with the bidet is like I don't have a bidet if I go poop somewhere like outside the house. You know what I mean? Like
BYOB.
Get shit. So
real.
it gets caught in the.
Like dingleberries and shit.
Someone told me like the way we're designed biologically, like our asshole makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like because other animals don't really need to wipe. They take a shit and it's
just
fine.
falls out.
Just falls out.
Yeah.
But because of our anatomy and our fucking ass cheeks, there's so much flesh and then hair, it gets caught. I
have a theory.
What?
I think because I remember heard this in like AP Environmental Science. They would say that we're not supposed to be eating meat. We're only supposed to be eating like vegetables because like our teeth shows that we're like not supposed to be meat eaters.
What about the
so like our
canines?
poop?
We're
What?
omnivores though.
I don't know the full theory yet, but so basically,
I don't know what I'm talking about, but let's hear me out.
There was an article I read.
No, but like if you only eat vegetables, then the poo poo's smoother, and then it won't really catch on.
I feel like it would catch on more with the solid
Really?
poo poo.
I thought it'd be like a
Or
more
with the smoother poo-poo.
or- I don't know.
How are your poops?
Wait, oh yeah,
'Cause
wait a minute, we
Dylan's
got one.
vegetarian.
What?
How are your poops?
How's your poo poos?
My poops are great.
Okay,
Like, they
so is
don't-
it-
they
No
don't
stuck to
hurt.
hair?
No, not really. They kind of just slide out. actually.
Wow,
That's
okay.
crazy.
It's one of the
So
benefits.
my theory might be right.
Huh.
You don't need to shave your ass.
So it's the
vegetarian.
meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get a bidet. They're $20.
Okay, I think I'm gonna
They're
go.
cheap. There's like they're super easy to install. And then when I go out of town, like when I went to Europe, I get the wet wipes.
Yeah. Well,
Because like I
but you
can't
can't flush those. That's the only thing that scares me a little bit.
What do you mean?
You know, you're not supposed to flush them.
I'm in a hotel. I don't give a shit.
That's right. Yeah. I hate leaving poop things in the trash can, especially when it's visible.
No, you
Dude,
flush them.
Dude, my grandma says you can't flush toilet paper. So when she comes over, she wipes and leaves it in
That
the
shit.
trash.
No way.
Fuck
She's
off,
not allowed
bro.
to come over anymore.
That's some bullshit, bro.
No, that's too
Wait, is he
complicated.
going from Jersey?
Yeah, the one from Jersey.
Say Jersey.
Yeah,
That's
your
what we
people.
do.
That's your people.
That's what we
That's
do.
from Jersey,
From
bro.
Jersey. Jersey.
Oh, let's go.
No, let's go. We don't wipe our ass if we got good
Let's
pizza.
I don't know about that one.
All right,
Wet wipes, man.
we gotta wrap it up.
Oh yeah, sorry.
What
Talking
time
about
is it?
shit.
We've been going for an hour and 11 minutes. but
Damn.
it's 10:08 right
10:08.
Holy shit. Just getting started.
Yeah, I
For
really
real, I
felt
feel
like
like I
we
could talk to you
were.
all night.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys go.
now. All right.
Well, actually, I got a hotel. If you want to meet me at 4 a.m.
You
I
want
got
me
a
to finger your
butthole.
asshole?
Yeah.
You have a blank
I
check?
didn't say that. I'm just,
Wait,
we're just gonna
what's up?
practice on you.
Final question. I feel like do you have any final?
I have a question.
I have a
Yeah.
lot of
Everyone give one
questions.
final question
Okay.
to Chief
I
Frito.
like that. Okay. Mr. Rick, do you want kids one day?
You want?
I go back and forth with that. Yeah. I think I would be a really good dad.
Is
I
it a
think so.
lifestyle
Yeah.
thing though?
You raised
Or
me,
like-
dude. You raised
I
me in
raised
college.
all this.
You raised me, dude.
Yeah, it'd be tough. Because the lifestyle. I have a dog, and that's difficult.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, Aldous, can you come and house sit and watch my kid?
Yeah.
That kid would be tight. He'd be smoking some fatty bongs. I go back and forth with the kid thing.
Yeah.
What is it at right now?
I'm right down the middle. But like I'll have moments, where you're like,
Should I pull out?
I need it.
Sorry, Hillary. Sorry.
if this
She
happens,
upset at me.
Yeah.
I feel like if it happened, I would completely embrace it. I wouldn't be like, no, my life's over.
Yeah.
I would be like, cool, this is a new path.
Yeah,
This is
new
a
sketch
thing.
partner.
Yeah, new sketch partner. Yeah, I'm gonna exploit this kid. Get him a fucking agent. Yeah, but I've never had that. Even since I was young, I've never been like, I'm gonna have a kid. It's not. I don't have the paternal instinct. But I think I would be a really good dad, though.
Yeah.
I
That'd be
agree.
cool.
Yeah.
Wait, I have one. What's the lowest point you've had in your career where you're like, I'm so close to quitting? And then how'd you get out of it? And what age? Where were you?
I mean, I have that all the time.
Oh. Oh, no.
I have that existential crisis. No, that's not true. I mean,
Like,
I
what's your
definitely
darkest?
go. It was probably, I DP'd this commercial cinematography. I did the cinematography for this director who like took himself way too seriously. He thought he was like James Cameron, but he wasn't. And he was a bad director. He didn't know how to give direction right, and he sucked. I would study him and be like, I'm not going to do this when I get the opportunity. And I was paid $800 to come out with my red camera. I had a red camera at the time.
Which one?
It was the red one.
Oh, okay.
And we did a commercial it was for women. It was for a pharmaceutical company for women that had ovarian cysts. And they were explaining, it was a trial medication. So they would send you this stuff to send back to them. Basically what they sent you was a container and their special pads. And you would have to, the women in their period, the pad would soak up, and then you would place the used pad into the container until you got to 12 of them, and then mailed that back to the company. And they would test the samples. So anyway, there was a moment we were filming the scene, and the actress was describing, she was like squatting like in her bathroom setting and explaining how to pull the tampon out and put it. And I remember filming this. And then the director went, yeah, how about that USC film school now, Rick? And he said it like condescending as a joke.
Man.
But it like went, I was like, yeah, how about that film school education? And I remember
Like a
thinking
sketch,
like, this sucks. Like, he's right. Like, what am I doing? That was a pretty low moment.
Was that when you already quit your day job?
Yeah, I was freelance.
How old were you at that point?
I was probably 27.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I did that.
Wow.
Freelance is it's fun. It's because
dangerous.
you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
and like you have these moments where you're free. Like right now I'm free. I mean, I have an edit that I have to work on, but I mean, I'm free. You know, I can do whatever I want. And then I like it because you're in between, and then you get to work on your creative stuff or not, cool. And then you get hired, and then you're off to the races again. So it's fun.
Dang.
It's a good like back and forth.
That's sick.
My question would be, I don't remember if we asked this last time, but like what advice would you give to us, like kind of going through it, like not really kind of like knowing where we're stepping next?
Your 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are doing fucking great. Last time I was on your podcast, we were at your house, and it was like super casual. And now you're in a studio, and you got sponsorship. You guys made $22, and your numbers are up. You guys, you're like over 1,000 on YouTube, right? That's fucking big.
Yeah.
Like, so you guys are already doing it. Like, my advice is just, you just never quit.
Yeah.
That's all. Or you do quit, and then that's okay too. Like you know, I mean,
the cameras off.
I think there's like a weird cult. I think you quit when it's not working, because there's a culture like Gary Vee and these guys where it's just like never give up, keep going, and it's like somebody out there is taking that advice and they're a really terrible actor, and they're not, and like they're not. There's a point of delusion at that point.
Yeah.
But I think you guys are doing great. I think at the end of the day, if it brings you joy and it makes you feel good, then there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Unless you're Bryan Singer.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll change my name.
We were literally about to get him on the pod next week, but I guess we'll get him on this week.
Yeah. I mean, it's public knowledge.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Where is he now? Is he jail?
I feel like
No, he didn't get nothing happened.
What year was that? Do you remember?
It's been ongoing.
Because he came back and he directed one of the X-Men back in like 2014, I think.
Look up his IMDb right now.
Maybe Roman Polanski will come out.
Look up his IMDb.
The Pianist too.
I feel like I haven't heard much.
Roman
Polanski made The Pianist?
Yeah, he made The
Adrian
Pianist.
Brody? I didn't know that.
Hopefully he does a sequel.
He did?
That's crazy.
He did The
He's
Pianist.
not allowed to enter America though.
Oh, but like, what if he just films one wherever he is?
What?
Like, if he films a sequel wherever he is.
He
Romania?
can be in like other countries. He can't come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be arrested.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Probably gonna name it The Penis.
Yeah, that's probably why he took it.
Yeah.
Can you guys? Are you able to separate the artist from the art?
I am. Yeah.
You are?
Talk about this. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It
depends on the crime though.
I am.
I love Jeffrey Dahmer.
I am, but I don't feel comfortable saying it out loud.
You are.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
So
It's because I'll play Kanye and I'm like, I hope no one in my office thinks I hate them.
yeah.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah. You play it at the office?
Yeah.
For real? Like out loud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you put on your little mustache when you play it?
Yeah, and I raise my arm.
We'll just tank it at the very end. This whole podcast.
It was going so good. Yeah. I also wear my cross. It's a little funky on my arm.
I'm scared because I feel like...
That was a Buddhist symbol, though. He co-opted it.
What?
The twisty cross.
The twisty cross?
The Buddhist. That was like...
Oh, yeah.
Buddhist.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. The twisty cross. Whoa.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going. Imma, you have a question? No. Chief Rito? Okay.
Jersey.
Jersey?
Well, alrighty.
Cool.
Thanks,
well, Rick,
guys.
thank you. Thanks for teaching me
Yeah.
a
Taught
lot.
you everything you know.
Everything I know. Thanks for introducing me to Dan.
Hell yeah.
Isaiah. Inspiring me.
Sick.
Pinching me, bruising me in places where people won't see it.
They'll never see it. Yeah.
And
Yep, it's true.
for letting me give you $2 million for what you did the other day. All right, guys.
Hey, man,
Thanks for
Thanks for having me on,
Thanks, guys.
It's always been fun.
Rick's back. Rick's back.
Yes,
Congrats
Rick,
on the studio.
Thank you. Thanks for being the first.
Yeah, thanks.
Bro, my ass is numb in this shit right now.
Love on my way, yeah. Touch on my rub on my love on my rub on my. Why do you want my dick all up inside your lips? Wanna just grab